It has been a while, and for the first time in like 3 years, I can't believe I'm saying this, but what's up? Welcome back to another video. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting too old for that intro, but basically, I felt like I wanted to make this video just to kind of give you guys an update as to where I've been, these past 3 years. 3 years it's been crazy. It's been a while since I've been, posting and been in that whole like Roblox gamer era, everything. Um, but yeah, just a, quick summary. I'm 15 now. I'm turning 16 and can't believe I'm saying this. I think the last time I posted, I was like 10. I was in, I think, the 5th or 6th grade. Now I'm gonna be a rising junior in high school. Like, how crazy is that? Like, I'm gonna be an upperclassman in high school, and the last time I posted, I was just a fresh middle schooler. Like, really, time flies fast, and, it's just been so crazy. These past 4 years have just been, I've just been, like, working on myself. I kind of like the whole reason why I just took a step away from YouTube really is that I struggled, with a lot with mental health, and I struggled with just wondering what my passions were in life and what I wanted to do with myself. Um, Back then I was like so obsessed with popularity, the whole like YouTube phase, like Roblox gamers and collaborating with my friends, recording videos and all, your typical 10-year-old stuff where you just dream of being a YouTuber and all. And I guess just when you grow up you become, really realistic. Like my look how deep my voice sounds now. Look at me. I'm developing now. Like I'm getting older, I'm getting realistic. There's more to life than YouTube is kind of what I realized, a few years ago. Um, Basically, like, I was heavily obsessed with, Roblox, YouTube. I was watching a bunch of YouTubers, some that inspired me, Gaming with Kev was a big one back in the COVID pandemic. Um, what else? Like Dennis Daly, all the Corey Kenshin, a lot of those Roblox YouTubers really influenced me to just start my own content. And I felt like, YouTube was just so, fun. It was so immersive. It was an opportunity for me to just, be myself and have fun and, of course, try to make money, Well, I don't know what I was thinking when I was a kid, but, that's just what I thought. I mean, I literally have an edit where I'm celebrating 100 subscribers and I have like lasers coming out of my eye and it's freaking like crazy, I don't know what happened, but like all in all honesty, I feel like that version of myself, the what's up guys, welcome back to another video. I feel like it will always be a part of me, but at the same time it like isn't me, I feel like now that I'm older and I'm gonna be like a really big teenager now. I have, different interests, Back then it was just Roblox gaming and everything. And eventually I just lost passion. Like editing took too much time. I had no one to play with because everyone was, doing their own thing too. And I just, when you get older, you lose passion for stuff. I like Roblox, like all the popular games I used to play just didn't get interesting anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. There wasn't any more discovery, and I just wanted to explore more rather than just stay in my room in a computer and be someone that I felt like I wasn't. So eventually, like it sort of transitioned from like a passion to a hobby to a job, and I hated it whenever I was posting but didn't feel like I wanted to. It felt like I was doing something I didn't want to do and wasting time off my life. Like I literally spent, like 4, 5 years literally just staring at a computer and just like playing nonstop and doing nothing else. I wasn't like interested in anything. I wasn't going outside, and I felt like I was just wasting my life away, and I wanted to change. And that change happened, like 4 years ago when I decided it's time to move on, time to, explore the world and explore myself rather than just sticking with one hobby, because eventually it just got boring. So during these past 4 years, I've been taking up a lot of interests and passions. Like I'm now passionate about computer science, and I'm planning to major in informatics. It's like holy shoot. Now, I like how did we go from talking about, like rat washing simulator or whatever to not talking about shoot college apps. Like it's crazy. Like life is just getting like serious now because like now I'm older and there's more to life now outside of, gaming and YouTube and, the screen and all. It's like trying to get realistic. So eventually, like, with high school and everything, there came a lot of stressors, you know. There was a lot of, work and, struggles with high school and everything, a lot of transitions, workloads, improving myself. I felt like back then I was very immature and I had to develop, if that made sense. I was skinny. I didn't have interest or hobbies to do anything outside of YouTube. I was wasting my life away. I didn't care about school and other stuff. And eventually I just grew up. I wanted to develop myself more. I wanted to get serious about life and really just discover a more reliable and secure career because it's time to get realistic. I'm going to be in college in the next 3 years. So eventually I did get serious. And I'd say around middle school, I started, just locking in and started getting more active with other activities like Boy Scouts. I was really inactive in a lot of stuff because I diverted all my attention to YouTube. But eventually, when I quit that, it allowed more time for me to just divert attention to more serious and more beneficial activities like Boy Scouts. I started advancing a lot more, and piano I started improving in that. As student council, getting my grades up, all A's, honor roll, all throughout middle school. I was at the peak of my life, and I felt like at first, stepping away from YouTube was really the best decision that I could do at the time. Then came high school. I was a freshman, at that time, like 2 years ago, and I felt like despite all my accomplishments and just discovering myself, I was still immature. I felt like all I sought was popularity because during middle school, I'm not going to lie, I was really lonely. The whole reason why I only had a few friends in all of my videos, if you notice consistently, it was just Shane, probably Max, Matthew, some other people, but that's it. I was hanging out with younger people, and I felt isolated to my own peers, and I felt like I just couldn't make friends with people my age. Like I just felt like I was a loser just to hang out with people that were so much younger than me that I couldn't make friends with people of my own age, of my like just peers in general. I felt like I really needed to improve my social skills and just at the time, I thought the best way to improve my social skills and improve myself was to be popular and to make people like me, which now I think about it was probably one of the worst decisions. So anyway, back to freshman year. All I cared about was popularity and what people thought of me. And all of us, like now that I think about it, I felt like I was really a follower and I hated it. I really regret it. I was a follower and I wasn't being true to myself. I was just listening and doing things to impress other people rather than to really impress and develop myself. And it was just one of the worst experiences of my life. I was under so much pressure to live up to societal expectations and all that I wasn't just being myself. And that's kind of the main trigger that motivated me to start a sort of rethink coming back to YouTube. That I wasn't being myself and I missed being myself. The way that YouTube, offered me the opportunity to just, be myself and to express my own character through different ways, whether it's playing Roblox or reacting or other things in general. And like at that time, I felt like I was happy because in the end I actually did get really popular, but I was a little bit empty inside. I felt like despite, knowing a lot of people, how can I really know if I'm making real connections, if that makes sense? Maybe these people were just along for the ride or maybe they're even, true friends. Now that factor I just couldn't tell. I didn't know if people were true or not back then, because all I was obsessed about was just knowing people, then really building connections. And that actually carried into sophomore year, where I was still obsessed with popularity, and all I cared about was just what people thought about me. And as I was developing myself, I at first believed that that was the main thing that really defined who I was. And throughout sophomore year, I'm gonna be really transparent. Like, there were a lot of struggles with mental health and depression and anxiety. I felt like I was never good enough. I felt like I always had the instinct to always compare myself to other people. I never saw myself really as special. I thought I was just an average person. I started talking negative about myself. I started having a pessimistic attitude every day. And I thought that everyone was just better than me, and I was literally useless. Like, and that's how high school is, like in the environments that you're in, when you're in a big environment, there's always going to be someone that's better than you. There's always going to be someone that's smarter, that's faster, that's more physical, that's more talented, that's more better with, qualities such as like responsibility or time management or just anything. There's always going to be someone that's better than you. And during sophomore year, apparently I just couldn't realize that. I just felt like the main thing again was, the immature perspective of wanting to be popular. And to be popular, I thought, let's just try to be the best. And think, like, now thinking back at it, that's probably one of the most silliest and the most disturbing and really just maniacal, like, perspectives and unrealistic things that I could ever believe in myself. And that mindset unfortunately led to, a big downfall during sophomore year. I struggled in school. I struggled with, like, balancing family and friends. I started having an angry and negative mindset every day. I hated life. I hated myself. And I really just struggled a lot with mental health. And eventually it got to the point where I literally just wanted to, like, leave the school. And at times I, have thoughts, like, I'm not gonna say it, but, like, you know what I mean. Thoughts. I had thoughts of like ending it. And eventually, you know, like, I sought help, of course. I had to go and just improve myself and all. And, now I am. And I'm here now to talk about just what I've been through these past 4 years, and to return to a place that I felt like was really where I could just be myself while, just enjoying the opportunity of just being like my own character. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like you're probably not going to be expecting much Roblox gameplays anymore, because of course, like, that thing, I'm just really not interested in. But what you are probably going to be expecting, from now on, is just videos where I'm really going to be transparent and really just truthful about who I am as a person and what I really love to do. And that can probably be like, maybe it's not gameplays, maybe it can be like a vlog, maybe it can be a reaction, maybe it can be just sharing thoughts about, school or motivational talks even, who knows. But from that, like, from this point on, I'm really gonna promise not only you guys but to myself that I'm really gonna be truthful in everything that I do, and just stop pretending and stop living to other people's expectations, because in the end, it's my life, and no one else is ever going to, like, feed me or care for me. I'm in control of, my own journey, and God gave me this life to live being Alger, not to live being my friends, not to live being, what other people tell me to be. I believe that, in my faith, because I'm Catholic, God tells me to be myself and to live as myself, because, it's like it's kind of like what they say, where, God looks at, God took 7 days to create such a wonderful planet, such a wonderful earth. You look at the mountains, the skies, the, just the beauty of nature in general. And after all that, he just thought, that something was missing, and that something was you. He thought that you really played a role in this earth, and you are like just you are important, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. Because now that I think about it, we all have a purpose, and we all have our own uniqueness. No one's ever gonna be better at everything, because we are all equal human beings under God. And that's just something that took time for me to understand too. And looking back, like, I don't care about all the popularity, stuff anymore. All I care about is just living life to the fullest, because you only get one shot at this. You only get one shot at just, being yourself and just living life in general. There are no second chances. And, if you're going to regret doing something, once it's all over, then you're just gonna have to live with that regret. And no one wants to live with that regret. Like, honestly, like, I remember scrolling on social media one time and seeing that, like, 20 years in the future, or 200 years in the future or whatever, like, no one's going to remember, no one's going to care, no one's going to give like an F about whatever you do. So you might as well just do it. And now that I think about it, it's more of just like, I want anyone who's watching this, and I want myself to just live life to the fullest with no regrets, because no one is ever going to care about you, and that's just the harsh reality. Like, no one really cares about you. No one cares what you do, who you are, where you are. So why don't you just do it, if that makes sense? Um, but yeah, that was just like the whole mental struggle piece for me. And no more about being the best, no more about living to other people's standards. It's just time to live life to how I want to live it, and to live life to the fullest without any regrets, because you don't get a second chance at this, beautiful opportunity God gave you. Now, in terms of like YouTube, I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, where are all the people that I've collaborated with, or should I say like featured, because that's what I used to call it back then. But like there's a lot of people I collaborated with, Max, Matthew, I think you guys remember Joan, Daniela, Damie, Shane. But just to start off with, I know Shane has been like a big part of this channel, and just a recap of where you guys are wondering like where he is. I believe he is going to be an eighth grader this year, because I'm gonna be a I'm gonna be a rising junior. He's gonna be going into eighth grade this year, and that's honestly crazy, because the first time I met him, he was only a first grader, bro. Like 7 years ago, like around pre-COVID, was the first time I ever called him. I remember I was in my old house, and like I just was so bored. I decided, you know what, like, let's just call him, and to really recap why I called him, or how I even knew him, he was the cousin of a friend, Matthew, who was also featured on this channel a few times. But he was the cousin of him, and I had really good family, like, familiar ties with him. And eventually, I just got, I was thinking like, let's just call him one day, and that one call eventually led to almost, half a decade long friendship. And unfortunately, we started kind of like parting ways around 2024-ish, and life got serious, of course. I went into high school, he went into middle school. We started making our own friends and started uploading our own videos, doing our own stuff. And it's kind of like gaming with Kevin Jones Got Game was what I like to imagine back then. And it was like the big separation. Okay, Loki, I'm being traumatic about that, but like, you know what I mean. Like, it was like a long friendship, and all of a sudden we're like separating. And of course, I was like a little sad at first, because I low key I low key remembered all the good times with him. COVID, just sitting in my room, just playing Brookhaven or whatever with him, and like maybe Joe and Daniela, all those people, like not having a care about the world. And now, like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't talked to him in about a year. I literally have not contacted him in about a year, and he hasn't even posted for like 3 years. So I don't know. That's just, I don't know what he's doing with YouTube, but that's just his side. And I guess looking like going forward, I'm not really expecting him to appear much. Really, I understand he's doing his own thing, but hopefully we can connect sometime soon. But yeah, basically just that. Like, Shane's doing his own thing. He's basically, yeah, like separated from the channel. As for Joan and Daniela, they are like kind of doing their own thing too. Joan was also a family friend, and Daniela was a close friend of Joan. That's how I met both of them. And I remember when we would always play, World Zero. What else? Like Brookhaven, Bloxburg, um, just things like that in general. And now they're doing their own thing too. Joan, I think, is gonna be a high schooler now. Probably same with Daniela. I don't know, but they're doing their own thing right now. I don't really have much close contact with them anymore. I actually did see Joan a few months ago, at like family gatherings, but like that's rare, and that's really it. They're just doing their own thing. Shane's doing his own thing. Matthew, I still have contact with though. He's actually the classmate of my sister, and he's gonna be a freshman this year too. Um, so I'm not worried about that. Like Matthew's still a good friend of mine, but I remember, back in 2020 and like the pandemic like era, um, him, my sister, Shane, and we would always get into like these big arguments and big fights about Roblox or whatever, and it got so severe to the point where like we literally just stopped talking to each other for like 3 months, as if it were like we were going through heartbreak or stuff like that. Like we literally thought we were trying to live adult life as kids, and that's like the silliest thing that we've ever done looking back. But we're chill, don't worry. Like everything's fine. Um but yeah. Um Now just to like this has been going on for about 22 minutes already. I'm recording on OBS, that's why I like know what's happening. But just to recap, like to finalize everything, um how do I say this? Like going forward in this channel, I wouldn't say it's more of gaming, but it's more of just again expressing who I am, and really it's just like an unexpected variety of whatever I feel like posting. It can be a vlog, it can be a reaction, maybe a gameplay every now and then. Who knows? Maybe even 2K basketball highlights. And if you guys remember, again, I'm like developing a big passion about computer science, data science, data analytics, informatics, and all. Because unfortunately, life's getting serious. So yeah, I might probably promote some stuff of that too. I'm actually working on a passion project right now with some people all over the world, where I'm gonna be just spreading awareness about ethical use of AI, and just how it's impacting our society both environmentally and just health wise. Like in the place where I'm at, there's a data center being built near me, and we're planning to advocate an opinion about that too. But I'm gonna probably be promoting that project somewhere around this like channel. But other than that, I've been doing a lot of ECs, honestly, extracurriculars about computer science and data science. Like I'm doing research with a few programs. I'm doing more programs about developing more projects about AI and Python, SQL, like all that database stuff. Um, um, it's been like a crazy journey. Like I went from just, you know, playing with computers to understanding them, if you know what I mean. And I kind of want to thank YouTube, honestly, because YouTube is really what really invested my interest and my passion for computers anyway. Like I genuinely love technology. I love coding. I love programming. I love analyzing stuff. And it's just satisfying, like just being able to create and use logic and analytical thinking to, you know, do something. It's just one of my best interests now. Um, but that's that. In terms of like other stuff, like I'm gonna be playing basketball overseas in Hawaii because I got invited to some invitational tournament or whatever. um like I'm taking basketball seriously too. As of Boy Scouts, yeah, I'm still doing that. I'm actually working on my ego rank right now. Like holy crap, it's been so long. Last time I posted I was only a scout rank, and I'm gonna be an eagle scout hopefully, in the next year or something. But we low-key have a lot of catching up to do. But as of right now, I don't think Alon Games is really gonna define who I am. But just for the sake of it, I guess I'm just gonna say like thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. And for sure, don't worry, I'm uploading because, I'm alive now. So, yeah. Thanks for, staying loyal. And I'll see you guys, hopefully, in the future. And, we're just going to start a new whole chapter from here. Love y'all.